Hey everyone, it's Ashley. Welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to finally be using some products from the Sticker Kitten craft box. And if you follow me on Instagram, you may know that I have recently been added to their design team. So I'm very excited to be sharing this with you today. I'm going to be using the stamp set that comes in the box, and I'm going to be using the unicorn and this little pole, the merry-go-round pole. And we're going to be making this an interactive card, and so it should be really fun. I'm going to keep it nice and simple, just with some pops of color, and the interactive part of the card should be very fun. To start off, I'm going to take an A2 size piece of cardstock and cut out a stitched rectangle from the My Favorite Things rectangle dies, and I'm using these slider elements dies from Lawn Fawn, and this is going to make for our interactive part of the card. So to die cut that out of the card front, I'm just going to place it there in the middle of the top portion of the card, and I'll just place it down with some painter's tape to make sure that it doesn't shift in the die cutting machine. And you can see I get that little piece off to the right there, and we're going to be using that as well for this card, so I don't want to throw it away. And I got little smudges of ink on there from the die cutting machine, so I'm just taking that off with my Mono sand eraser. Now that piece that it cut out, we're going to use for the pole decoration. So this is the stamp, and I'm going to be embossing this. So I'm going to use Versamark ink, which is a very sticky ink. It's great for embossing. And I'm going to do my best to center it and get it right on that piece. It fits perfectly. I'm going to also use Wow fluorescent pink embossing powder, and this is so fun. They have a whole line of fluorescents, and it really is great to add some color and some pop to your cards, especially if you're going very clean and simple like I am for this card. So now we're going to take the card front that we cut with the My Favorite Things stitched rectangle die, and it comes out to be about 4 by 5 1/4, which is just slightly smaller than an A2 size card. And what we're going to do is center that and use it as a stencil and a marker. So what we're going to do now is glue the pole, the merry-go-round pole, exactly where we want it to line up. So when I take the card front off, now we have the perfect place that it will line up later. I'm going to stamp this unicorn in Memento ink because I will be Copic coloring, and I'm going to show you the colors that I've used for the body: V12, BV00, and BV000. And I'm just quickly going through some coloring here on the body of the unicorn. Nothing very intricate. I just like to use 3 colors. As you may know about me, I like a darkest shade, a mid-tone shade, and then a lighter shade. And I'm just putting the shaded parts where I think that a shadow may hit the unicorn, and then I'm coloring in the body with the lightest color, and I'll just get the hooves with the darkest. I'll be using these 3 colors for the hair, and I'm not doing anything special with this. I'm just using the colors just as they are for the different sections of the hair there on the unicorn. And for the unicorn's horn, I'll be using this Lionette gold color. And now that I am pretty much done, I'm going to be fussy cutting this out. And this is going to be our moving element on the card. So when we're all finished, it's going to move up and down the merry-go-round pole, just as you would expect a real horse or a unicorn on a merry-go-round to do. So of course it goes around, but the horse itself, or the unicorn itself, will move up and down on the merry-go-round pole. Because this card is going to be a little bulky at the end, I'm going to stamp my sentiment onto it now just to get a nice clean impression, and I'm going to use Versamark ink, which is what I use usually for sentiments. And this one says, "Have a super fun day," and I just went ahead and centered that on the bottom portion of the card. And to make the moving element For the unicorn, what I'll need to do is cut a piece of foam tape that fits comfortably in the track that we've die cut out, and make sure that I center the unicorn or put the unicorn where I'd like it before I put that foam tape or that piece of foam tape on, because that will ensure that I put the unicorn in the right spot. We're going to do a double layer of foam tape, and this will give enough dimension to be sure that the unicorn can move up and down easily without getting caught or stuck on the cardstock underneath it. If it were too close, it would be too tight of a fit and you couldn't easily move it up and down. So right now you can easily remove the unicorn, or the unicorn would easily fall out of that die cut track that we made. So what we'll need to do is just cut a simple piece of cardstock, and we're going to put it horizontally, or the long way or width way, and this is just to create a barrier. So when you're moving the unicorn, it won't actually fall out of that die cut that we have there for it. And then we'll need to make another track on either side to make sure that the unicorn isn't wobbly or won't turn around. It's just going to stay nice and straight, going or moving up and down. So I'm just going to do that the same way I did with the dimension the rest of the card. We're just going to do 2 layers of foam tape. And to get the thin layer of foam tape, I just cut one piece and then cut that piece down the center. So I'm removing all of the foam tape now, making sure that the unicorn moves comfortably. And then I'm going to line it up right over, and there we have it. It's almost done. I just think we need a little bit of bling. So I'm going to use these purple gems here, and these are from Pretty Pink Posh. And I'm going to just sort of randomly put them around. I want it to be sparkly but not overwhelming, and I really think the purple goes perfect with the colors that I picked out for the unicorn. Before we glue any of them down, we need to move the unicorn just to make sure that it won't hit any of those gems. And I'm just going to glue them down with Tombow Mono liquid glue, and I'm using a jewel picker here, and it just easily kind of sticks onto those jewels or those gems. Same thing with sequins, and then sometimes you have to mess with it a little bit to let it go, but it actually was very easy and simple this time. So that is pretty much it. That's the entire card. It is very clean and simple. There's not a lot going on with the card, but I love the colors that pop out. I love the gems with it, and I love the fact that it's a little bit of a surprise when you can move the unicorn and it looks like an actual merry-go-round, and I just think that is so fun. I hope that you have enjoyed this video and learned a little bit more about how you can create your own interactive card. As you can see here, I did put some pattern paper, also available from Sticker Kitten, inside of an envelope, and I just think it adds the right amount of embellishment, and I think that it just goes perfectly with the card. As always, my blog, Instagram, Pinterest, everything is linked in the description, as well as a full supply list of what was used today. Thank you again for coming by, and I will see you very soon. Thanks.